They won, dominated, and rewrote the league. Then it all collapsed, some in a decade, some in a single play. From Mahomes to Marino, this is every NFL dynasty, and how each one lived or died. Green Bay Packers, 1960s Lombardi era. Vince Lombardi's Packers didn't just win, they defined what winning meant in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers of the 1960s were the NFL's first true dynasty. Under head coach Vince Lombardi, they won 5 championships in 7 years, including the first 2 Super Bowls. They played physical, disciplined football, powered by stars like Bart Starr, Jim Taylor, and Ray Nitschke. But the real force was Lombardi himself. His leadership turned a small market team into a powerhouse. His name now lives on the Super Bowl trophy. After his departure in 1968, the dynasty collapsed quickly, but the standard they set shaped the league forever. Pittsburgh Steelers, 1970 Steel Curtain. The Steelers went from laughingstock to 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. In the 1970s, the Pittsburgh Steelers built football's most feared defense, the Steel Curtain. Anchored by Joe Green, Jack Lambert, and Mel Blount, they crushed opponents and won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Terry Bradshaw threw deep to Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. Franco Harris powered the run game. Coach Chuck Noll quietly ran one of the greatest locker rooms in history. No scandals, just dominance. From 1974 to 1979, they were almost unbeatable. Their legacy, toughness, rings, and a defense-first dynasty that redefined what a champion looked like. Miami Dolphins, early 1970s. Perfect season. The only perfect season in NFL history belongs to the 1972 Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins of the early 70s were more than a great team. They were perfect. In 1972, they went 17-0 under head coach Don Shula, with a balanced offense and suffocating defense. Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris ran wild. Bob Greasy threw when needed. The no-name defense shut down everyone. They won back-to-back Super Bowls and went to 3 straight. No team has ever finished undefeated again. Even today, members of that squad celebrate when the last unbeaten team loses. Perfection has a name, and it's still Miami. Oakland Raiders, 1970s to 1980s. Villains. The Raiders were violent, dirty, and proud of it, and they won doing it their way. From the late 60s to the mid-80s, the Oakland Raiders were the NFL's renegade dynasty. Al Davis built a team of cast-offs and outlaws who thrived on chaos. Ken Stabler, Fred Biletnikoff, and Cliff Branch led the offense. The defense, led by Jack Tatum and Ted Hendricks, terrorized opponents. They won 3 Super Bowls across 3 different decades, 1976, 1980, 1983. They broke rules and broke bones. Davis's motto was, "Just win, baby," and they did. They didn't care what you thought, only that you feared them. Dallas Cowboys, 1970s Staubach era. Crimson. America's team earned the name by winning and winning big. In the 1970s, the Dallas Cowboys were the league's biggest brand and one of its best teams. Quarterback Roger Staubach, a Navy veteran with clutch in his veins, led the way. Tom Landry's flex defense confused offenses. With Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett, and the Doomsday defense, the Cowboys made 5 Super Bowl appearances in the decade, winning 2. They built a nationwide fan base and became America's team. Their success wasn't just talent, it was discipline, structure, and consistency. The blue star on the helmet became a symbol of dominance. San Francisco 49ers, 1981 to 1994, Montana to Young. From the catch to 5 rings, no team sustained greatness like the 49ers. The 49ers owned the 1980s and early 90s. It started with Joe Montana and Bill Walsh's West Coast offense. Then came the catch. From there, dominance. Jerry Rice shattered records. Ronnie Lott hit like a truck. They won 4 Super Bowls under Montana, then a 5th with Steve Young in 1994. Few teams have ever transitioned from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another without missing a beat. Their dynasty lasted over a decade, defined by precision, intelligence, and ruthless execution. No drama, just winning. Chicago Bears, mid-'80s dominance, short-lived. The '85 Bears were one of the best teams ever, but it only lasted 1 year. The 1985 Chicago Bears crushed everything in sight. Led by Buddy Ryan's '46 defense, they allowed just 12.4 points per game and recorded 2 playoff shutouts. Mike Singletary led the defense. Jim McMahon ran the offense. Walter Payton carried the team when needed. They finished 15-1 and blew out the Patriots in Super Bowl 20. But injuries, egos, and coaching disputes tore them apart. They never reached another Super Bowl. For one season, they were unstoppable. But greatness faded fast in Chicago. New York Giants, 1986 through 1990, Parcells era. Parcells and Belichick built a dynasty, fueled by defense and discipline. The Giants of the late '80s were built on brutal defense. Lawrence Taylor changed the game from the edge. Bill Parcells managed the locker room. Bill Belichick ran the defense. They won 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, both with gritty, clutch performances. First with Phil Simms, then Jeff Hostetler. Their offense never scared anyone, but their toughness broke teams. They didn't talk much, they hit harder. They taught the league how to win with brains, violence, and unity. When the dust settled, they had rings to prove it. Washington Commanders, 1982 to 1991, 3 QB titles. 3 quarterbacks, 3 titles, 1 dynasty. Nobody talks about enough. From 1982 to 1991, Washington quietly won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks: Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, and Mark Rippon. Coach Joe Gibbs masterminded it all. His offenses were balanced. His teams were brutal in the trenches. The Hogs dominated up front. Art Monk and Gary Clark made big plays. The defense held the line. They never repeated, but they always returned. In a league of superstars, this dynasty was about systems and winning by any means. Understated, overlooked, but elite. Buffalo Bills, 1990 to 1993. 4 straight Super Bowls, lost. 4 straight Super Bowls, 0 wins. Still a dynasty? Absolutely. Submissive. The Buffalo Bills from 1990 to 1993 did something no other team has done. Made 4 straight Super Bowls. Jim Kelly ran the no-huddle K-gun offense. Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed shredded defenses. Bruce Smith terrorized quarterbacks. They dominated the AFC, but they lost all 4 Super Bowls, one by a missed field goal, others by blowouts. The pain lingers. But the dominance to get there wasn't luck. They were the best in the AFC for half a decade. Sometimes a dynasty isn't about the rings, it's about how long you stayed on top. Dallas Cowboys, 1992 through 1995. Emmett, Aikman, Irvin. The '90s Cowboys weren't just good, they felt inevitable. From 1992 to 1995, the Dallas Cowboys ruled the NFL. They won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years behind the triplets: Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. The offensive line, led by Larry Allen and Nate Newton, was a wall. Jimmy Johnson built the foundation. Barry Switzer rode it to a title. They were fast, physical, and unrelenting. Off the field, they were wild. But on Sundays, they were focused killers. After '95, egos, money, and chaos tore it apart. But for a brief stretch, no team looked more dominant. Denver Broncos, 1997 to 1998, Elway and TD. Selfish. Linway got his rings and made sure no one ever called him a choker again. The Denver Broncos peaked at the perfect time. After years of Super Bowl heartbreak, John Elway finally had help. In 1997 and 1998, with Terrell Davis running for 2,000 yards and a defense anchored by Steve Atwater, they won back-to-back Super Bowls. Elway retired on top. The offense was balanced, deadly, and smart. Mike Shanahan called brilliant games. The line protected. The defense hit hard. They didn't just win. They broke the NFC's grip on the Lombardi Trophy. It was short-lived, but unforgettable. New England Patriots, 2001 to 2019. Brady and Belichick. 1 quarterback, 1 coach, 6 rings. 2 decades of fear. The Patriots dynasty is the longest, coldest reign in NFL history. It started with the Mo Lewis injury and never stopped. Tom Brady took over in 2001 and, with Bill Belichick's genius, won 6 Super Bowls and appeared in 9. Every few years they rebuilt. New receivers, new defenses, same result. They beat dynasties. They created scandals. Spygate, Deflategate. It didn't matter. They outlasted everyone. Their formula: no distractions, no weakness, no let-up. From the Tuck rule to 28-3 to the Rams shutout, the Patriots defined an era. Indianapolis Colts, 2003 to 2010, Peyton Manning era. Manning mastered football but had only 1 ring to show for it. The Colts were a machine under Peyton Manning. From 2003 to 2010, they won 12 or more games 7 straight years. Manning read defenses like code. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark got open. Edgerrin James ran hard. Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis wrecked QBs. Tony Dungy led with calm. In 2006, they finally broke through and won the Super Bowl. But playoff heartbreaks piled up: Brady, Rivers, and the Saints. 1 ring felt like less than they deserved, but their dominance was never in question. Pittsburgh Steelers, 2005 to 2010, Roethlisberger era. Defense, grit, clutch, and 2 rings with a young Big Ben. The Steelers of the 2000s were built on defense and toughness. Troy Polamalu flew everywhere. James Harrison destroyed blockers. Ben Roethlisberger made plays when it mattered. They won Super Bowl 40 with Jerome Bettis' farewell. Then again in 2008 with the Santonio Holmes toe tap. They played in 3 Super Bowls in 6 years. Mike Tomlin took over from Bill Cowher and kept winning. They didn't run up the score. They didn't care about stats. Just rings. Just pain. The AFC ran through Pittsburgh for years. Seattle Seahawks, 2012 to 2015, Legion of Boom. Misled. They hit harder, talked louder, and should have had 2 rings. The Seahawks built a dynasty through defense and fear. The Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, dominated the air. Bobby Wagner and Michael Bennett owned the middle. Marshawn Lynch ran like a storm. Russell Wilson made the right throws. Pete Carroll kept them fast and loose. They humiliated Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 48. A year later, they were 1 yard from back-to-back rings, until the Malcolm Butler interception. That one call ended a run that could have lasted longer. But for 4 years, Seattle hit like no one else. The Baltimore Ravens, 2000 to 2012, defense-fueled runs. The Ravens never feared a dynasty. They just killed them. The Baltimore Ravens won 2 Super Bowls with defense-first football. In 2000, Ray Lewis led one of the greatest defenses ever. They won with Trent Dilfer at QB. 12 years later, they did it again, beating Brady, Manning, and the 49ers with Joe Flacco's best playoff stretch. Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, and Haloti Ngata created chaos. They didn't repeat, but they always returned. Never flashy, never favorites. Just brutal, patient, and built for January. When the Ravens came to town, your season could end. Philadelphia Eagles, 2000 to 2004, McNabb era. 4 straight NFC title games, 1 Super Bowl. So close to glory. The early 2000s Eagles were consistent, dangerous, and always 1 game short. Andy Reid built a winner with Donovan McNabb at QB, Brian Dawkins on defense, and a rotating cast around them. From 2001 to 2004, they reached 4 straight NFC championship games. They finally broke through in 2004 but lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots. Terrell Owens' drama and injuries derailed the dynasty. Still, they were one of the league's top teams for half a decade, always knocking, never quite breaking through. Los Angeles Rams, 1999 to 2001, greatest show on turf. The fastest offense the league had ever seen. Then, gone in a flash. The Rams' greatest show on turf burned bright and fast. In 1999, Kurt Warner went from grocery clerk to MVP. Marshall Faulk was unstoppable. Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce stretched defenses. Mike Martz's offense broke the NFL. They won Super Bowl 34, nearly repeated in 2001, and then lost to the Patriots in a shock upset. The scheme stayed, the wins didn't, but their impact reshaped how teams saw offense: vertical, fast, and relentless. It only lasted a few years, but it left a mark forever.